Hi guys, it's Brooke and welcome to my YouTube channel. For my first ever YouTube video, I thought it would be fun to do a base game challenge. So it's a complete base game home and I'm gonna make it under 20K. This is gonna be really hard for me. I know that a lot of people think that it can be a really easy challenge. However, once you know what you can have and that's taken away, it's very hard. I am so obsessed with cats and dogs and seasons, windows and doors. I use them on basically every build, and without them I feel lost. And in this build, I know I'm going to feel lost, but we'll get over it. It'll be fine. Yeah, so let's get on into it. Before I build, I always like to create a family. Otherwise I end up making every single house decoration-wise to my liking and what I like, but if I create a family, then I have personalities to go by. So here we have the Evans family. We got Harper Evans. You know, she wants to be that super parent. She's super cheerful, loves the outdoors, and is family oriented. Then we got Jason. You know, he wants to be a friend of the world. I imagine him being super funny. He's super outgoing. He's a bro, and I made him squeamish. I thought that this was really funny. I actually really enjoy some of these like random Sims traits. I think it just makes the game a little bit more fun. Also, I like the weird moodlets that they get from some things all the time. Then they got their daughter Sophia. You know, she's silly. All right, so now let's get into building. You're going to see that I cheated my money down to 18.5 because this lot was 1,500. I gotta say that I'm actually pretty proud of this house. Initially I made it kind of big, but then I decided to bring it in a little bit because I was spending a lot of money. I think I spent too much of my money on the exterior, especially on the walls. I never knew how expensive walls were until I did this challenge. It was so hard. But I mean, you also have to have space. I mean, like I have a toddler and 2 adults. So the toddler needs space. It needs all its toys and everything. Yeah, the roofing, I was a little iffy on the roofing. I felt that this house was a little weird to do roofing with, so then I have these like bump out pieces on the sides that you're gonna see me mess with that like I really wanted to do certain things, but I thought that they looked weird, so then I ended up doing just like the normal like slanted half roof. And then I felt kind of weird because I felt like the back and the front looked exactly the same, just like wider, and I don't really like doing that. I like to have the back look at least a little bit different, but after some thought, I just said whatever. I do end up moving the house back and putting it on an elevation only because I don't like the way that Sims houses look when they aren't on an elevation. I think it looks just like plywood on grass. So I thought it would be a good idea to not spend money on stairs but have it elevated. So if you elevate it up just one, they use that as a step. So it's just like 1 step, so your Sims can just walk up it fine. Yeah, stairs expensive. So expensive, I found out. I actually chose this single door. I never use single front doors in my house. I love like the big ones, but I didn't want anything too fancy, and I felt like base game didn't really have any like non-fancy double or triple wide doors. So I went ahead with this cute little single door. You also see me fiddling with the windows. Let me tell you. Base game windows are not the vibe. Oh my goodness. I do end up going with these ones though. They are really cute. I actually think I might use these more, but otherwise I really wanted to go with shutters, but I just, every time I try to use shutters, I don't know, I can never get them to the point where I like them, so I just I always give up. I always want to do them though. I see people use shutters and builds all the time. And then I'm like, man, I really wish I could do that, but I just can't. You are also going to see me make a new roof for this. I do fiddle. I'm like, man, maybe we should use brick. And I did kind of like it for a little bit, so I left it, but I do change it back to something different. The front of the house really needed something, so I added just like a little bit more roofing, because I felt like it was just like one straight thing and there was no separation. I did actually kind of think that the roof looked a little weird, so I did play with like, you know, inching it in, inching out, but I don't know. I got over it and I was like, you know what, it looks good. So I had some columns, and then I tried a different thing. I always do blue houses, so you see me like fiddling around with the blue. However, I was determined not to do blue. And then I was like, maybe we should do pink. Pink is something that I never do. I actually did it on a crazy cat lady house thing that I built. I like to play with weird Sims sometimes, and that was one of the Sims that I really wanted to play with. So I did pink on that house, but I was like, no, that's not the vibe for this house. So I ended up going with green. I never really do green builds. I did a green build a while ago. It's on my gallery, but I wanted to use those like succulent plants, and so that's what I used the green for, but otherwise you never really see me use green. So I was like, this is the time. I went for a very basic floor plan, just 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. I don't really know what I was doing here, but whatever, we'll ignore it. We did need a bathtub, so I had to make the bathroom like a little long. I know that there's like a way that you I mean, I do it all the time where you just like alt and hold to like kind of cheat it, but sometimes I feel like maybe it looks a little weird in smaller houses, so I didn't do it. I thought that we could splurge the extra like $5 or whatever it is just to extend it a little bit. So yeah, now you see me creating the kitchen. I was so mad when I opened up these countertops because one, I knew parenthood wasn't going to be a thing, but I was like, man. And then I was going through the prices and I was like, no, we'll use the cheap ones. And then I was like looking and I was like, the price difference between these blue ones that I'm looking at and like the nice ones, the white ones, I was like, $60. I think we can do it. So I do end up splurging, and I think I spent too much money on the kitchen, but you know, kitchens are just one of those things where it's like, you need it to look good. Like, I never play in a house that a kitchen looks terrible. Like, I hate it. It always ruins it. The kitchen is my favorite part. I love it so much. And then I was like, man, maybe we should do an island. And then I realized that we just spent like all of our money and I actually delete the island, but the island would have looked so good. Like, we would have had space for it too, but it like, also I thought these looked off. So I was like going through swatches and then I finally found the one that matched. But yeah, this is me thinking, oh, nope, we can't do the island. Like $290, that's so much. So since we splurged on the countertops, I decided to do a really cheap fridge. Also, I was really surprised at how expensive this like white oven is, only because like there's not much of a difference in like the quality of food. So like you're paying 3 times more for like this stove. So I was like, you know what, we'll get them a stinky stove and a stinky fridge, and you know what, they're gonna get jobs. They can replace it. I was thinking in like my mind, like I have a house of my own and I'd rather replace the appliances than like redo my whole kitchen. So I was like, we'll get them nice countertops and then we'll give them stinky appliances. Maybe they came with the house and maybe they needed them. I don't know. But regardless, they got the stinky fridge and the stinky oven, only because, oh well, I call them stinky because they're kind of gross looking. But yeah, here you see me trying to figure out what I want to put in the living room. I was like, really annoyed with the TVs because like that one, this flat little one is so expensive, but I didn't want to give him a boxy one. Like that just was not the vibe. We did not stand that. So I was like, no, we'll do the flat one. Aha! Yeah, I end up doing it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So, and then I was like, couches. We don't really have that many good couches. Like we have some fancy ones, but honestly, I hate using those fancy ones. Like I think that they look so terrible. Oh yeah, and then I was gonna put a rug, but I was like, what are we doing? We have to get every necessity before we decide to put down a rug. So, I go into the bathroom next just because it is the next most expensive thing. And then I remember that we have to put in a tub. So I put that in and just like a toilet and a sink and a mirror. I hate that pedestal. Like, I think it looks good in like older home builds, but in like builds that like I want to play in, I really don't want to use that pedestal stink. I like the one that's right next to it. And I was thinking about putting it in there, but I was like, you know what? No, we got to save that money. We got to save that $40. So then I go into the toddler's room and I don't know. I try to decide between if I want to do purple or teal, and I choose purple just because I really enjoy purple. I give her like a little nightstand and a toy box. And then I do give her blocks because blocks are really important for like improving your child. Then I was like, you know what? She deserves a bookcase. So I gave her this little cute pink unicorn bookcase. And then I forgot that this chair was base game. And then I gave her this little koala because the koala one is so cute. I love the koala one. And then, of course, the purple potty chair. Then I was like, oh my God, she needs a Blarfy. Every kid needs a Blarfy. Yeah. And then the blocks, of course. So then I move on to the parents' room. Now, you may be thinking, Brooke, you're putting all this furniture in your house, but you don't have any flooring or walls. Now, let me tell you. I do the furniture first, then I do the floors, and then I do the walls. Why do you ask? I don't know. I think I've always done this. Like, since Sims 2, I've done this. Only because I think it started in Sims 2 because every time I chose wall colors and then I tried to match up furniture, I never liked it. So I think it just became a habit, but, excuse me, ignore my grumpy dog. Like, I think it just became a habit because if you put the furniture down first, then it's easier to find wall colors that match it, you know what I mean? Than it is to, like, find furniture to match the wall colors. Which sounds stupid, but, like, to me, like, furniture matters more than whether or not, like, the wall's green. So, yeah, you see me putting in all the flooring now, and then I'm going to move to the walls. I do put in a backsplash. Oh no, we forgot cabinets. So I put in some cabinets and then we do a backsplash. I realized that actually kind of looks stupid. So what I do is I give them some extra storage over there and then I do delete the ones above the window, I think. I'm pretty sure I do. Maybe I don't. I know I do, but maybe it's a matter of time. But yeah, I love this backsplash, especially with the brown, countertops. I think it's really pretty. And then I do go for a tan. I did want to do like a white house, but then I think I forgot when I decided to make the kitchen because I went for the brown countertops instead of the white. So inside is more like of a tan, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with tan. That's kind of what I grew up with too. Except my mom really liked green and purple. It was like, I don't know, it was way back when like wine and grapes were like a thing. I don't know. It's, you know, she still kind of has that theme, but whatever. Hi Mom, if you're watching. Yeah, so here I was messing around because I saw that sailboat one and I have never noticed that before. And I thought it was hilarious. So I was like, why would I even want sailboats on my wall? You do see that I choose green for the families, for the parents' bedroom. I thought it was really cute with that comforter, which I thought when I was putting that down, I was like, man, I actually would really love that comforter. Here I am cheating because it only connected to one window. So I take the windows off and then place the curtains where I want them. And then I put the windows back because honestly, I think it's really annoying that it like clicks, like it like adjusts itself. I think it's annoying. I also put long ones in the bathroom because privacy. I don't cover up the one behind the shower because I was like, you know what, it's clipping weird with the shower, and honestly there's a curtain there anyways, so whatever. Now I'm trying to get like skill building things. I do start like decorating, like you see me put down one plant, but then I was like, Brooke, you gotta give things for your Sims to do. So I put down a bookcase, and I do put down a computer because computers are used in everything. You do see me try to use this chair just because it's a little bit cheaper, but then I just go with that one instead. I do give them like a dinky computer just because, you know what, they can buy a better one at a later date. It's fine. Then I do go to the kids' room, and then I was like, yeah, we'll give her some little animals, and not the rabbit because the rabbit looks so gross. I hate the rabbit. But yeah, I give her like a little book reading sign. I think it's super cute. I think I spent too much money in the kids' room, but I do give her this little unicorn because I think it's super cute. It kind of looks like they drew it. Also, $290 or $230, whatever it is, for that plumb bob picture, which I love the plumb bob picture, but man, that's expensive. And then I was like, man, see, that's where I delete them. That's where I delete them. I was like, we should just delete that. And then I was like, no, we'll just delete the ones above the windows because I hate putting cabinets above windows because I think it looks stupid. So I gave him an easel because I was like, maybe the mom's artsy. Then I go back with some pictures in this room. I also hate that that sunflower picture is so small, and I don't like the way it looks sized up either. So I go with these flower ones, but I really like the sunflower picture. Yeah, and so, sorry, my computer glitched a little bit. So now you see me, I was like gonna put a fence back there, but then we didn't have room for a fence, so I was like, oh, nope, never mind. It like took out all of our money. So I add a light, which actually looks really stupid, but you know what, whatever. And then I was like, I wanna use these bushes, but those bushes are so expensive. So I end up not using them, but those are like my favorite bushes. So I do go in with this elm tree. This elm tree is kind of like weird looking. It kind of looks plastic, but it's really cheap. It's only $30, and I mean, we do need some plants. I think I add another tree and some terrain paint. I did want to try to add some flowers, but there was just no money for it. I knew this was going to happen, but I really didn't want to cheat. I didn't want to use debug. Some people don't know how to use debug, and I wanted this to be accessible for everyone. However, I'm not going to be hurt if nobody wants to play in this house. It's totally fine. I totally get it. Yeah, I get it 100%. It's not the best house. Also, it's not my best build. But yeah, I thought it turned out pretty cute though for being a challenge. Also, I was like, $20. What can we do with $20? And then I realized that my filters weren't on, so then we had to go back and do the filters. But you see me scrolling through and I'm like, man, we have so many options, but we don't. Yeah. And then I put that on the wall and I laughed to myself. Yeah, we couldn't even afford the mega wall hunk, but we could afford this plant. So that's actually the last thing I planned. So yeah, and there it is. There's my house. I thought it turned out actually pretty great. It is on the gallery. Go ahead and check it out. Clueless Pixels is my name. Yeah, so I hope you guys loved this build. I know it was really fun for me. It was a really good challenge. I feel like taking the break from cheating for money so you can build the best house is kind of nice. So yeah, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye.